Hi, I'm Michael LaFosse from the Origami Dough Studio. This is my origami baby dinosaur. Use a square sheet of paper, and if using regular origami paper, begin white side up. Fold in half, corner to corner. And unfold. Fold in half, corner to corner the other way. And unfold again. So we have crossing diagonal creases. Where they intersect, we fold two opposite corners of the square to meet. Unfold these. We're going to take the bottom right edge of that section and fold it to the crease. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Now we have to use the left side of the opposite edge just to keep them at the same end of the shape. Now we're going to pivot. You can see a crease line which runs through the square corner and hits the folded edge at that point. Use your thumb as a break at that end so that you can bring the folded corner up and over. Once it's folded in half, pull. There's the pivot point. Now watch as we carefully guide the fold, which we're making, all the way to the square corner on the right end of the square. Now we can pull the same folded corner back over the opposite way and repeat. So we're pivoting once again, and we're carefully guiding the folded edge to the corner at the other end of the square, like this. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So, same thing, pivot, and then pull the edge over, and guide it carefully, and then reverse the pivot, taking the final edge over. Notice which way these two corners are pointing. They're pointing to the left on my paper. I'm going to use the bottom right long edge and fold it to line up with the horizontal center crease. I'm going to do the same thing with the opposite edge. Unfold. And now we're going to mount and fold the long horizontal center crease. It's actually easiest to turn the paper over and simply fold it in half. The result is that we end up with those folded layers on the outside of this triangular shape. We're about to make a rabbit ear out of this corner in the center. We already have half of the work done here. So to finish, we're going to take this bottom left edge, fold it up to the top folded edge, and here we have our pivot point. So this crease runs through the corner, hits the folded edge. Use your thumbnail as a break to set the pivot. Pull the paper over and use the crease that's already here to bring the layer on top. We have what's called a rabbit ear. Flip the fold over so that the foot of the dinosaur points to the left. Let's turn the paper over to the other side. Here's our existing crease, so the one that we need to put in is the right side now. We fold the right edge to the folded edge above. Here is our crease line, our pivot point, anchor, set the pivot, fold in half, pull. And once again, we have a rabbit ear. Flip the paper over so that the feet are both pointing the same way. And this is our little baby dinosaur base. We have the feet, which point forward. This long portion will become the neck, and the back one will become the tail. Let's do the neck first. We're going to inside reverse fold this corner in half up. So what's happening here is we're opening from the top, flattening, pulling up and through, folding in half from the underside. Notice that we go right to the limit here in front of the feet. And we'd like an angle right about there, so that we have something for the back and we have a nice tall point for the neck. The tail is next. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to turn the paper holding with my left and doing the work with my right. Open from the top, fold in half from the underside. The tail needs to be long backwards. You can start up here, make sure that it's tight up inside the legs, and then use the paper as a lever until you get the shape that you think will be best. I think that looks good, so I'm going to flatten it there. Notice that the underside has a long folded edge up to the tip. Take the long folded edge from the top layer and fold it against the long folded edge above. I'm going to open the paper and take this shorter folded edge, push it inside. Here's a pivot point. Watch what happens. I'm going to make a mountain fold here between those points and then flatten the lower, longer layer under and inside. And there we have our crimp using a swivel. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Take the long folded edge to the opposite long folded edge. This is our starting crease. Lift the layer up. Here's our shorter folded edge. Push it inside. And flatten. The effect is we get the nice tail shape and we have a better connection into the body and the back. While we're here, and speaking of the back, we're going to shape that between this V notch and the one at the base of the neck. We're going to mountain fold this corner inside, right between those 2 points. Turn the paper over and do the same thing on the other side. And so we have the feet, the body, the tail, a nice shape for the back. Let's work on making some limbs in the front. We're going to inside reverse fold this large corner, and we're going to do it at the level of this horizontal fold. And this is easy to do. Simply open, bend down at the level of the folded edges, and match them on each side. Fold back in half, and there's the inside reverse fold at that level. Now we need to inside reverse fold up. And this is a rat fold. R-A-T spells rat, and that means right about there. And so it's going to be your judgment about how much to bring up. Notice that I've left a margin here below the point. We're going to inside reverse fold these corners. So I push the corner in. I'm going to align my fold with the outside edge at this point. And then I'm going to continue this folding up a little bit above the corner on the back side. Something like that. Again, right about there. Let's do the same thing on the other side. It's just a little inside reverse fold. You can see the result. And now we have this nice shape. So we have limbs at the front and a nice form for the neck. Let's make the head. We have to inside reverse fold forward. So open from the front, bend and flatten, fold in half. Once again, you can use the lever technique, which means whatever angle you need, you can get to by swiveling. And something right about there is good. So we have a neck and paper for the head. To finish the head, we have a nice swiveling technique that allows us to bring this layer, which is trapped or hidden inside, up to make the top of the head and an eye line. Has a very reptilian look to it. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Open the layer, find which place to open and pivot at, like this, swivel up, and flatten. And notice the neat color change that happens if your paper is colored differently on the other side. Let's finish the tail. We're going to put a valley fold on the top layers, which are all locked together, from the base of the tail up to midway inside. See how I'm opening this? I'm going to turn the paper over and do the same thing on the other side. Just grab the edge, bring it over between those 2 points, and make a sharp crease. and then center it. What this allows you to do is to open the end and give it a little gentle curve like that. It adds some dimensionality and some poise and balance. You can make sure that the 2 feet separate and that are even. The baby dinosaur.